What's going on, guys? It's Greg Styles, and today I'm bringing you the long-awaited and honestly long overdue on my part Gait D2 review. So originally they released the Gait D. It was super popular, super revolutionary in its design, but was inevitably ruled illegal by the NCAA. I'm not sure if it's still legal at high school levels or not, but it's definitely illegal in college, and that was due to this is the can opener. That's what is written right on there. But the NCAA deemed that it had sharp protrusions was the terminology used. And so you can see this was meant to like grab a stick or the head or the mesh and help you dislodge the ball. So super revolutionary look and design, eventually made illegal. So Gait had to go back to the drawing board and make some new ones. And instead of just one head, they chose to make 3. So today we're gonna be taking a look at all 3 of those new Gait D heads. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe. We have tons of great stuff coming for you this fall. So I think I'll just work through them one by one. First off, as a group, we've got all the weight versions here. Weights, I have them written down because I can't possibly remember 3. This is the lightest one, the Gait 2 GB, which stands for ground ball, at 5.5 ounces. And then you've got the C and the T, both at 5.8 ounces. So good heads for D heads, 5.5 for the more transition one. Well, that doesn't make sense. This one's literally labeled the transition one. Anyway, the GB one, and then closer to 6 for the heavier, stiffer ones. So we will start out with the GB, because I also think this is the most similar to the original one. It's basically the same kind of silhouette, but lost the hooks. So this is the GB, because it's supposed to be best for ground balls. When this was teased, a lot of people actually thought it was a women's head because this is the kind of offset you get in a women's head. But I think the point is to bring the offset down and then the scoop back up, similar to what like the Mark II T and D and even our new Delta head do. So it comes back up to make GBs a little bit easier. One thing I will say is I've never loved the string holes on Gait heads. They're always just a little funky, but the combination of the return and the face shape actually strung a really great pocket in this. So I was really happy with the pocket I got, despite the fact that the string hole sizes and placement are a little screwy. Another thing you'll see across all these in different amounts is this cut through in the scoop. So you got all the string holes here and then the cut through straight through the scoop. I think the point of that is to give it a little bit of flex so that like when you hit the ground, I guess it'll flatten out a little bit. Overall, it does make the scoop a little less stiff, which I don't think is great for poke checks for defensemen, but it looks cool. It's a cool feature. And then additionally, you've got all these ridges, which I think are on all 3 and are supposed to give you some traction when you're checking. I don't think they're gonna grab a lot. They do look kind of tough, but I think in reality, you're probably not grabbing a lot of jersey or stick with those. So that one's pretty cool, the Gait 2 GB. I've seen this one in the hands of a lot of LSMs and short stick D mids. So now I'll move on to the Gait 2C and the Gait 2T. So I only strung the one, but these two are extremely similar, very similar face shape. They look very similar on the side, almost indiscernible, and they look definitely like something from De Beer, which is, Gait was running De Beer many years ago before Under Armour. Pretty straight up design, just tons of struts going straight down the head, and then it's got a little bit of that Gait original look, just kind of lost the hook. So it comes down on a severe angle and then back up on a severe angle. And I think the point of that is maybe if you have the shaft, you can push or pull it. It's got the ridges that'll maybe lock on a little bit. Never as much as the original, but maybe it could help some. Same thing with the cut through. And then this one is pretty stiff, and you can see, I think the big difference is this has like a flare to it. So the sidewalls are angled in a certain way to make picking up ground balls a little easier, give you a wider face shape to knock down passes. Haven't seen a head with the flare in a long time. This was an OG Blade feature that hasn't made it to many heads. The Helix, I mean, the Razor. This is an old Warrior tech that hasn't really made its way back. So Gait trying to bring that back a little bit. And then this one is the T. So I guess somewhere between the two. Has more of a straight up face shape. It has, as opposed to the flare, this one has fins that run on the inside. Not exactly sure of the point there, but it's very similar to this in design, offset. Return a little bit more pinched and maybe a little bit more stiff as well. So they've got a lot of terminology on here. Ball dislodgement technology for push and pull checks, like I mentioned. Push or pull with the smaller hooks there. Narrowed silhouette. they have the multi-directional ball dislodgement technology is what they call that. So overall, I think that these definitely stand out on the field. They look very different. I don't know that they needed to make 3. I think they probably could have combined these 2 and done the more aggressive GB. But I think they're never as aggressive as the original. People love the original, but it's a cool concept, and I like that their Gait is notorious for pushing the boundaries, at least bringing something new to the market, not just pushing out the same old ideas all the time. And that's Paul Gait. He's been like a gear genius ever since I was a kid. So if you got questions, leave them in the comments. I'll probably try and string these, and maybe we'll do a little giveaway or use them when the Gait D3 comes out. So thanks for watching. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.